My name's Kathy A. And today I'm going to do a special show all about STILA Cosmetics. Now STILA was a line that was cruelty-free for quite a while, and I guess they got bought by Estee Lauder. So Estee Lauder is not a good guy, and Estee Lauder tests, even though STILA does not. So I decided to do it because I had a lot of STILA products and I wanted to kind of demonstrate them so you could see what they did. And but first, I think what I'll do is I'll show you a little bit about the history on the brand, and then when we come back I'll do a full face tutorial to show you how I got to here from my fresh out of the shower plain face.
STILA Cosmetics begins with this lady. Her name is Janine Lobel, and she was born in Sweden. Her father was from Queens, New York, but after the Vietnam War, he decided to remain in Europe. In the 1980s, she really got into the new romantic punk scene and began her love of makeup using Biba Cosmetics, which were kind of edgy cosmetics that were based out of London. Her friend went to beauty school, so she decided to go to makeup school as well and attended the Complexions London Makeup School. She partied all the time, and she actually didn't do very well in school, and she went to Paris and decided to go to Marceau's Mime Academy. She decided then to move to New York, and she started a career in makeup. She found a job at the Chanel counter doing beauty work, and she did very well, except they fired her because she refused to wear pantyhose. Soured by this experience, she moved to LA, quickly made some friends, and she wound up working as a makeup assistant on the set of the movie Hairspray, the John Waters version. She then wound up getting work as an assistant makeup artist at Drugstore Cowboy, and then delved into music videos, such as REM and Wilson Phillips, Motley Crue, where she got to experiment with makeup on men, 10,000 Maniacs, Pebbles, rapper Ice-T, a very young Mariah Carey, and even New Edition. And then while working on the set for Pet Sematary 2, she met the man of her dreams, Anthony Edwards. They married 2 years later and started a family. And he was, of course, on ER, which was a popular TV show. And he wanted to spend more time with his family, so he wanted to leave the show. And to have him leave, they actually drew out his death scene into one of the most poignant episodes in TV history. In the meantime, Janine's friend Allison had opened a clothing store in LA called Mon Affliction, and she wanted her to have a makeup line to go with this store and sell her makeup in the store alongside the clothes. They decided on a name together, Stil for style in Swedish, and Stilar for signature or to pen, and the combination of the two created STILA. After getting several different factories to produce products in the quality that she wanted, she worked with a paper company to create very unique packaging made out of specialty papers, and she had little sayings imprinted on the inside of each of the packages for their eyeshadows and the blushes. They decided, since they had so many units of makeup, that they needed to branch out and sell to other places. She reached out to Barney's, New York, which was a popular store, and they accepted her products, along with Fred Siegel. And because she was such a famous makeup artist with actors, actresses, and musicians, her makeup soon sold so well she wound up being featured in Nordstrom's and in Saks Fifth Avenue. Word spread, and she was soon being sold in other countries, and then in Sephora and our beloved Ulta stores. Her products were a favorite on Dancing with the Stars on TV, and she had some innovative products such as her lip and cheek combo palettes. And she also had something known as the makeup player, which was an iPod dock embedded in a train case with some makeup as well. And you could actually use MP3 downloads of her giving makeup tutorials. Her lip glazes help make her totally famous. They are high quality and some of the best in the business. In 1998, they decided to use illustrations of girls and women instead of human beings to advertise their products, and it expanded their audience to young girls and teens. And, of course, the innovative, environmentally friendly packaging. Now, Janine was a mother of 4, and she was very busy as a makeup artist as well, so she did agree to sell the company, and Estee Lauder was the buyer. Estee Lauder, of course, is infamous for their animal cruelty, and this is why people think STILA Cosmetics are not cruelty-free. Now, in the meantime, Janine moved to New York, and she continued with her makeup artistry, doing magazine covers, studio work, and work for famous actresses. There was a broad range of actresses such as Liv Tyler and Rachel Weisz, Natalie Portman, Kate Blanchett, Nicole Kidman, Gwen Stefani, Michelle Williams, among others. And during that time, Estee Lauder sold the company to Lynn Tilton. She's an entrepreneur with over 75 companies, and this was in 2009, and Lynn introduced product packaging that included info on the ingredients in their cosmetics. Now, STILA Cosmetics is involved with a lot of different charities, such as the Environmental Media Association, Communities in Schools, the Down Syndrome Association of Los Angeles, the Breast Cancer Research Foundation, and the Foundation for Living Beauty. Janine kind of regrets that she no longer has very much control over what happens with STILA Cosmetics. She lives in New York still with Anthony Edwards and her 4 children in a lush New York apartment that was recently featured in Elle Decor. The unique design makes her not only a makeup whiz, but also a decorator at heart. Under the helm of Lynn Tilton, STILA remains a leader in innovative and creative makeup packaging and sells to countries all over the world. Now, these products are not the same quality or the same make as the original STILA Cosmetics, but still they have some really interesting varieties of makeup, and some of the palettes are quite good. STILA Cosmetics are cruelty-free as they are not ever tested on animals in this country or in Europe. However, they do sell to China, and China, they're actually the bad guys. They do test on animals for any cosmetics or any other products that would be used for human consumption. STILA is still one of the most unique brands of makeup around, and I look forward to their future products.
I want to like this brand, I really do. I think it's kind of cool. She has really kind of paid her dues and been a makeup artist for the stars for many years, so if anyone deserved to have a line for her own, it would be our girl, Janine. Now I think what I'm going to do is just do a full face tutorial. I'm going to start from the beginning when I just got a fresh moisturized face. I am going to use as an under eye primer this Blistex Deep Renewal, which is a lip product, but I saw it on Ellis for Living. She said she uses it under her eyes and it really controls like the appearance of wrinkles. It won't, of course, end your wrinkles, but it does look really good underneath makeup. So I did use that under my makeup for before I started with all the STILA Cosmetics stuff. So with the magic of video. Woo! Here is STILA Cosmetics.
Okay, here's the whirlwind tour of STILA Cosmetics, starting off with the Blistex Deep Renewal Lip Balm, which was suggested by Elle as a really good under eye primer. Moving on, this is the STILA Perfecting Concealer in the light shade. And I'm probably going to spend an uncomfortably long time brushing it on with a little concealer brush in all the little nooks and crannies. It seems to cover okay, but I did see little flakies here and there, and it set so fast that it was difficult to blend in. Now we're going to try the CC cream. This is a color correcting stick. It has a little green dot in the middle of it. Thought it was kind of interesting. Now it goes on kind of dry and creamy. And I'm just kind of drawing all over my face, and I'm going to just sort of lightly blend it in. And I'm not pushing really hard on the brush, but I'm just lightly blending in with my real, I think it's a Sonia Kashuk brush. And I'm just sort of buffing it lightly in to blend it in, up all over my face and down my neck a little bit. Now we're going into the Collage of Color Lip and Cheek Palette. These are combination blush and lipsticks. And that's the lightest color, which is, I believe, Peach Poppy. And I'm using that as a light blush. Put a little bit too much on that side, so I'm just sort of blending it out. Now the makeup is awfully shiny, so I didn't have any powder. This is the One Step Bronzer, a nice little swirl of different colorations. And it is a nice creamy bronzer, and it blended quite nicely. I had to let it set for a second to kind of oxidize a little bit before I spread it out. But I really did like it, and I thought it gave a very natural bronzy, blushy look, and I'm using it as a contour and not as a bronzer itself. There I am painting the jawline to try to make my double chin not so doubly. Now next I'm going to use for highlighter, I'm actually going to use the Stay All Day Wet to Set shadows. They're eyeshadows. This is the First Light palette, and I'm just going to use a little of the lightest shade as my highlighter. Trying it with my finger because the brush didn't really pull up anything. I found that this lighter color wasn't terribly pigmented. So I'm trying it dry here and a little frustrated. So I'm spraying it with water because you're supposed to be able to spray these with water and have them set into a waterproof setting. But I'm not finding very much pigment at all. It's very disappointing, frustrating. So I'm painting it on my hand so you can see the lack of pigmentation I'm dealing with. And there's micro glitter in it besides. And of course the micro glitter showed up just fine, which is about the last thing you really want to put on your face when you're over 40. Now that center shade is kind of a nice crease color, although there is a slight satin finish to it. I thought it was very easy to blend, and it actually did have a nice pigment to it. Going into the darker shade now, I'm going into that last outer third of my eyelid, and that also was nicely pigmented and blended out quite nicely. The only problem I found with these eyeshadows is that over time they literally disappeared. They really didn't even last a couple of hours on, so I was very disappointed in the quality as far as their long time staying power goes. Just putting on a little of the light just underneath my brow, and I'm using that middle shade there as my brow powder. And that didn't work too bad. It's probably a little bit darker than I was comfortable with, but I don't do a whole lot of stuff with my brows, so it was fine with me. Now this is one of the Stay All Day waterproof eyeliners, and it's a very thin pen, and I really like it a lot. It's a very thin brush. You can control it really easily. Of course, I just stuck it in my eye, but it is waterproof, and that indeed did last all day. That's really what saved my eyes. I went into work right after I did this, and all that was left on my eyes was this gray and the smudge pot gray that's coming up. I like the packaging. It's eco-friendly and just plain wrap brown. Now this is one of the smudge pots this is the color gray. Now smudge pots are kind of like a gel liner and a gel eyeshadow all in one. You can use them for either or both, which is what I'm doing. I'm kind of going over my eyeliner there, and I'm also going to smudge it up in the outer third, and it actually stayed all day for sure. And in fact, it stayed even after I tried to get it off at night with regular cleanser. I actually had to use a makeup remover to get it off. So it is pretty good, and I did like the smudge pots a lot. Now I'm curling my lashes. I'm going 8 seconds on each side, although we're in speed up time here, so that's kind of mercifully cut down. This is the Major mascara, and it's a huge brush. I didn't like it at all. Awful. It's like one of those large Christmas tree brushes. There wasn't anything really special about it. It took me a long time to get any kind of build up or body to the lashes. I guess if you're all, uber natural lash, you'll like it. But I didn't like it because I'd say about 2 hours later I went outside. It was hot and humid, and I did get a little meltdown with the mascara, got a little flex on my upper lid. So this mascara is a fail for me. But it isn't bad as far as, getting it on and having it initially look okay. There's definitely better mascaras on the market for less money. Just gonna brush out my eyebrows a little bit. Fixing the hair, literally. Now this is the Portrait of a Perfect Pout lip palette. And this has a lot of kind of lip gloss, lipstick type of items. I'm going to go into the second shade, which is called Pink Flamingo. And I'm just putting that on with a lip brush. And it's kind of a pretty color. It's a little on the pinky side for me, so I'm looking at it. It's like it's okay, but I'm going to go with something else over the top. Going back to that lip and cheek palette, the Collage of Color, I'm actually taking that Peach Poppy and going over the top of it because I like that warmer shade better. And there it is.
And there you have it. That's the Stila look. A few disappointments here, but in general, the brand is not too bad. I really liked the bronzer, the multicolored bronzer. It was a little bit of a surprise. It blended in nicely, but it went on kind of clunky. And the I really did like the gel eyeliner and the marker eyeliner. I thought they went on really well. The eyeshadows were disappointing. I think this is Kitten, and wet or dry, it did not have very much pigment, so you can hardly see it on my eyes. So I'm not really that impressed. And I think I should have gotten a powder with that as well. The mascara, meh, it just didn't do anything great for me. And then the lipsticks, they're all very, very dark and very pink and red. So they're not really that age friendly as far as that goes. And also too, I've only used this like 3 times and I've already hit pan on it, so there's not a lot of product in here either. So you can tell what's going back. It blended in nicely with my skin in general, but I could see like little flakes, little pores. I'm not sure what this green did because it didn't really help. And it's a very shiny kind of finish, which I don't like. You really need to powder it down to make it look good. But all in all, I could tell it's a quality line, but I don't think that I would recommend it actually. So, with that in mind, I hope everybody has a wonderful week. Have a beautiful day.